Hey everyone, what's going on? Vega here from SerpentX Tech, and it's time for our monthly series of what does it cost to build a mining rig right now in current market conditions. And I do this as part of a series that I started in 2021, each month building out a mining rig. Some of them may be an 8 GPU mining rig or a 6 GPU mining rig. It really just depends on the situation, how I'm feeling, and what I'm looking for. But theoretically, if we were to build a rig right now, the card that I selected and the build that I have are as follows. First off, the GPU. So I chose the 1660 Super, but I want you to know that the 1660 Super or Ti are around the same price. They're $550, well over MSRP. Honestly, pricing that I wouldn't pay for, but some of you may. And you need to decide firsthand what algorithm are you going to focus on, because the 1660 Ti can outperform the Super in some algos, while the vice versa, or the Super can outperform the Ti in certain algorithms. So it really depends on what you're trying to tackle or what you're trying to mine. First off, if you like content like this, please do me a favor, hit the like button and make sure to get subscribed to stay up to date with our monthly series. So the build. Intel Celeron G5920 CPU is what I selected. This is a LGA 1200 socket CPU. The reason we're choosing these CPUs is because the LGA 1151 or older gen are actually going up in price. They're hundreds of dollars. Versus the LGA 1200, which are relatively fresh, are much lower in price. And we just need a dual core CPU because we're not focused on CPU mining, we're focused on GP mining. So with that CPU, I paired it with the Asus Prime B560 Plus. It's a full-size ATX motherboard, and it offers us 2 full-length by 16 slots and 2 by 1 slots with an additional 2 M.2 slots, one with armor and one without. But the armor is not relevant if you wind up getting an adapter to split out that connection. Then we got the G.Skill Aegis 4GB sticks of memory. We got 2 of them, so that's 8 gigs total. At DDR4 2400 megahertz, speed does not matter in this particular instance. And then my tried and true storage selection, the ADATA SU635. I have it on all my mining rigs, 240 gigabytes. Very good drive. Now, as far as pricing for the 1660 Super that you see selected here, again, the 1660 Ti and Super perform close to each other. Some algos do better. We already mentioned that. But the pricing, I set it at $550 even. And that brings us about to $3,300 if we're paying close to $550 for each card. I say that and it kind of gets choked up in my throat saying $550 for these cards, because I remember $235, $200 when I swapped out my 1070s for them. Then for power, we really need to understand what's going to happen here. So basically, they draw about 125, 120 watts. A piece. You're not going to be running it that high, but you always want to prepare for just in case driver fails, restarts, whatever it may be, and then the card starts pulling the stock TDP. So I put it about 130, basically 780 watts just for the GPUs, not including system power and any peripherals. So a regular ATX power supply will actually do the job. Now, one ATX power supply is not going to be enough connections to power all of your GPUs. So what I would recommend in this case is that you can actually run 2 ATX power supplies. Now, I've chosen the EVGA GQ 750 watt, but there are plenty of other good choices. For example, this 850 watt B5 from EVGA, it is a bronze, it is a fully modular, but it's $74 versus $99 that we saw from the one that I selected. So you could technically get 2 of these and be perfectly fine, or you can go to Parallel Miner and pick up 2 of their HP server power supplies. They're going to be a little bit more, and it really depends on your setup. For example, one of these at 1200 watts can probably run that entire system just fine. However, you're going to need the ZSX breakout board that they offer, so that we can connect your motherboard, your CPU power, multiple GPUs, your fans, all that to this one board. However, just be mindful, again, as I mentioned in all my videos, the 1200 watt power supply, it's efficient, it's powerful, it's a server power supply. But in order to fully use the 1200 watts that it offers, you're going to need a 220 or 240 volt power. You can't run it on 110 or 120. If you do run it on those voltages, you're going to be stuck at 750 watts, which will require you to get two. So it may be beneficial, at least with this system, to just go get two 750 or 850 watt power supplies. Yeah, that's going to be 1,500 watts when we don't even need that much. We need basically less than 1,000 watts for our entire system, including GPUs and peripherals. But you want to make sure that your system is performing in its efficiency curve. If you look at these power supplies, you can see where it's most efficient at and get the system in that range, so that way you can save on electricity. Moving on, I did put a fan in here. The Arctic P12 or the P12 PST, white, black, whatever you want, it's perfectly fine. Good CFMs, good flow rate, 120 millimeters, and decent RPM. Or you could just get yourself some cheap fans of whatever the manufacturer you want, but these are actually not too bad. They got good flow rate and good CFM and good RPM. So overall, the system, I calculated, because we're going to need some more parts, right? So say, for example, you need a mining rig or frame. Technically, you can just use a shelf. My buddy Chump Change makes 3D brackets that can actually connect or hang on to your GPUs, and you just hang them off the metal shelf rails. Using a shelf works just fine. It's cheap, it's effective, gets the job done. Or you can spend $60 to get the 6 GPU frame. I'll have everything in this video linked in the description, including the parts list. We're going to need some risers, right? So that's about $50, 6-pack of risers. Technically, I would get 2 of them, but like most miners who probably have a bunch of risers laying around, you just need 6 to get the system up and running. Then we're going to need splitters. Now, not all of the GPUs are probably going to have dual 8-pin or dual 6-pin or whatever they have. So you may not have to split them. Some of them just may be one single 8-pin, which you will be fine because this power supply that I selected has 6 plus 2 pins, right? So that at least gets each GPU, if they have only one 8-pin on each GPU, you could connect it with this power supply. But if you get double, you have more connections, because remember, each strand is only rated for so much. If you have 2 6 plus 2 pins on one single strand, that entire strand is only rated for so much. And you just want to make sure, even though these are less power hungry cards than the 3000 series or the 6000 series, you just want to make sure you got all the power. 6-pin, 216 watts is max on an entire strand. 8-pin, I think it's 288, something like that. I've done a video on it in the past if you want to check it out. Then we need to split out the connection, because remember, we only have 4 slots, 5, 6 if we split out the M2s. Or you can take one of the by 1 slots and split it out with this adapter right here. So I have a U-bit one. I also have this one. I haven't had any issues, but some people have reported DOA or it dying or whatever. Maybe grabbing 2 is a benefit, or just in case. But grabbing one of these, and not only would you be able to fit all 6, but you may be able to expand further to a 8 GPU setup. Then there's the M.2 adapters. I'll have everything, again, like I said, linked in the description if you want to split out the 2 M.2 slots that are on this motherboard. But besides that, let's get into some data. So first off, the hash rates for the 1660 Super and the 1660 Ti are all on my Reddit page. I do my best to get the data to you guys. It's really close to day 1 coverage, so some of the data may be a little bit old, so you're going to have to, compare and contrast. What are you getting? What have you seen with the 1660 Super Ti? But all the data, hash rates, and everything are on here. They'll be linked in the description. And as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, the 1660 Ti and the 1660 Super are really close. Like if we look at the Ethereum hash rate, let's look right here at this box. So it's 29.3 on the 1660 Super, while it's 28 mega hash on the 1660 Ti. And I've seen my Ti get up to 30 mega hash. So this is just rough estimates. But let's say, for example, Zel hash. Look at Zel hash right down here, guys. So if I hit the 1660 Super, it's about 74 hashes versus the 1660 Ti, which is 28.5 hashes. And then again, ProgPal, the 1660 Ti is 13.3 mega hash, while the 1660 Super is 11.3 mega hash. So it really depends on the algorithm. It even does, the Ti actually outstrips the Super in the Kryptonite GPU algorithm. So it really just depends on what you're trying to target, especially with ETH 2.0 on the horizon. So the top coins for either one, 1660 Super or TI, is Ethereum, Flux, or some type of Kryptonite GPU type coin, whether it's Conceal, Equilibra, Ryle, whatever it may be. So let's look at pricing and time it takes to break even. With the overall system that I have priced at $4,000, you can save some money here and there. You know, instead of getting a mining frame, get a shelf. Instead of getting these fans, get cheaper fans. There's little things you can do to save money and bring it below $4,000 or less than $4,000. But right now at $4,000, current 10 cent per kilowatt hour, all that stuff, with the 1660, the first one is Supers. That's the one we're on right now. It would take us 374 days to break even, bringing us about $10.67 a day in profit. Again, removing electricity, because before electric, it's almost $12. After electric, it's $10.67. With the TI, we're actually bringing home the same amount, or close to the same amount, $10.28. And our break even is 389 days. So we're actually adding a few more days to it by mining Ethereum with the 1660 Ti instead of the Super. But now the script changes. With Flux, considering the power draw and all that stuff, per day on the Super you would bring home $769 versus $9.38 on the TI. So the TI is the winner when it comes to Flux. And the break even for the TI is $426 versus 426 days, not dollars, versus $519. So you actually would hit your break even mark a lot sooner. When it comes to Conceal, the 1660 Super will break even in 584 days, bringing home about $6.85 a day, versus the TI bringing home $7.90 a day and breaking even in 506 days. So it really just depends. That's almost 80 days the TI is saving you on this particular coin, on this particular algorithm at this current time. Remember, pricing changes, market changes. These build guides are just to show you the parts and how much it would cost right now, but it's going to be up to you to decide which GPU you want to go with, because you need to determine which algorithm you really want to focus on. Do you want to focus on Ethereum, and then once Ethereum is no longer mineable, you want to switch to Flux, or you want to switch to this or that? You're going to have to make that decision. And I'm interested to hear that decision. What are you looking forward to mining? What are you looking to mine right now? What are you mining? What are your setups? All that information. I love hearing from the community down below. Please hit me up in the comments and let me know. But that's going to do it for me today. Please do me a favor on the way out. Hit the like button. Don't forget to hit the subscribe and notification bell to stay up to date with what's going on with the channel. And for more video series like this, we do it monthly. And much more. Like, for example, go check out dogelord.com, where you can get coffee, SerpentX merch, Red Panda merch, and a whole lot of others. A lot of great content creators on dogelord.com selling their merch. Besides that, you all have yourself a wonderful day. Thank you for your time. Take care. I'll catch you in the next one.